Good morning, dear students. We have already discussed how the placenta is helping the embryo develop. We also have discussed that the mitotic division in the zygote is very fast. And by the end of the first month, the fetus general features are already formed, the heart is already formed, certain other organs are also formed. I'll show you a slide in just short how it is there. So here you can see that various stages of development. Well, this is not there in your syllabus, but then still human development, the fetal development is very interesting a subject. The first month you will observe the fetus heart is formed. The first sign is listening heart sound. By the end of the second month, the fetus develops limbs and digits. By the end of the 12th week, major organ systems and external genitalia are well developed. And that's the reason people go for sexual sex determination of the child by the end of the third month, and which is illegal in India. Through ultrasound, you are able to see the features of the baby, and they try to find out what is the sex. Well, fetal infanticide is a crime in India, but still people are doing it under cover, and it is not advisable to do so. The first movement of the fetus and appearance of hairs can be observed during the 5th month. And by the end of the 24 weeks, second trimester, the body is covered with fine hair, eyelids get separated. By the end of 9 months of pregnancy, the fetus becomes fully developed and is ready to This is a picture of a fully developed fetus. Now, the time period during which the embryo remains in the uterus, that is after the last day of menstruation to the day of parturition. Parturition is the process of delivery of the fetus. It's expelling the full-term young one from the mother's uterus at the end of gestation. So, I am told about 3 terms. One is gestation, fully developed fetus, then parturition. Gestation is the time period after the last day of menstruation to the day of parturition. The day parturition is the day the baby is expelled out. So that period is known as gestation. In human beings, it is of approximately 9 months. And the process of parturition, that is the process of delivery of the fetus, it is a complex neuroendocrine mechanism. It's a very complex process. With a fully developed fetus, the cervix gets stretched, the vagina gets stretched. As a result, the oxytocinergic neurons in the hypothalamus gets activated. So it is the fully developed fetus and the placenta that triggers the hypothalamus to trigger the posterior pituitary to secrete oxytocin in the blood. This increases the muscle contraction of the uterus. Please mind you, a fully developed fetus causes stretch in the cervix and vagina, which triggers the hypothalamus to trigger the posterior pituitary to secrete lot of oxytocin in the blood that would trigger the contraction of the muscles of the uterine walls, and this would cause the delivery to occur. So here are the points for parturition. The period of pregnancy is called gestation. It is 9 months in human. The delivery of fetus is called parturition. It occurs by contraction of the uterine myometrium. The signal of parturition is originated from the fully developed fetus and placenta. It induces mild contraction of uterus called fetal ejection reflex. And as I told you, the oxytocin in the blood increases. These oxytocin causes forceful contraction of the myometrium, which leads to labor pain and stimulates further secretion of oxytocin. Stimulatory reflex between the uterine contraction and the oxytocin secretion continues, inducing stronger contraction and pushes the fetus by dilated cervix. Well, this dilated cervix is again facilitated by the relaxin present in the blood. And after the delivery, the placenta is also expelled out of the uterus. Getting back to this particular flowchart, with the increase in this oxytocin in the blood, the breast glandular cells secretion begins. The myoepithelial cells contraction also begin, and that helps in suckling or lactation. The mammary glands in females undergo differentiation during the pregnancy only, and the production and release of milk by the mammary gland of female after birth of the young one is called lactation. So what is causing the lactation? This oxytocin is causing lactation to occur. The first milk which comes out from the mother's mammary gland just after childbirth is known as colostrum. It is rich in protein, energy along with antibodies that provide massive immunity to the newborn. Breastfeeding during the initial period of infant growth is highly recommended by doctors for bringing up a healthy baby. You might have read about that, heard lots of videos, images showing all these advertisement to let the mother feed the baby in the first hour as well as for the initial 6 months. This would prevent malnutrition in the child because the mother's milk is filled with proteins which are important for the growing child. So here's the summary. The mammary gland of female undergo differentiation and produce milk towards the end of pregnancy, and this is known as lactation. The milk produced during the initial day of lactation is known as colostrum. Well, this contains several antibodies I have already mentioned, which helps in developing the immunity of the newborn baby. Talking of the antibodies, there are 5 different types of antibodies, and this is the smallest type of antibody which can pass through the placenta, pass through the mammary glands, and it enters the child's blood. The milk production. Now, I am forgetting one more thing. The placenta also helps in passing on some antibodies to the child that would give little bit of immunity in the child for the initial days, and then the child starts developing immunity of its own. The milk production is controlled by lactotrophic prolactin hormones secreted by the pituitary. Breastfeeding during the initial period of infant is recommended for bringing up healthy baby. Talking of the immunity of the fetus, I told you all that there are some antibodies which can cross through the placenta and they stay in the fetal blood. Also, when the child is born, it's there in their blood. It helps in the initial immunity for the child. This is your IgG, capital I, small g, and then again capital G. This is how it is written. This can cross through the placenta and it provides the initial little bit of immunity the child has. Then the child develops its own immunity. Again, along with the breast milk, the child gets some certain immunity. These antibodies are IgA, capital I, small g, capital A. These two antibodies are produced in the mother's body and are transferred to the newly born child, either before birth through the placenta and after birth through the breast milk into the child. They help in initial immunity to the children, the newly born children. This is again another reason why a child should be breastfed immediately after birth. The two types of immunoglobulin I have told you is IgG and IgA. Ig is secreted by placenta and IgA is secreted along with the breast milk. There are 3 more different types of antibodies. We will discuss about it when we discuss immunity. This is how your IgG looks, and this is the IgA component. So this passes through the placenta and this passes through the breast along with the breast milk. With this, we have completed the 3rd chapter of NCERT. By now, I hope all of you have completed making notes and writing the question answers of chapter 1 and chapter 2. Now, I have an assignment for you that will be taken up on Monday. Monday would be your 11th of May. You will make a PDF file of your notebook with the help of some app. All of you are using mobile phones, so you can use an app to make a PDF file. The name of the PDF file will be your name and your roll number. So you will make a PDF file of wherever you have written your notes and question answers, and the name of the file will be your name and roll number, and then you will WhatsApp me you'll WhatsApp that PDF in the group so that I can see and mark you all accordingly. Thank you. Have a good day.